the Lion's Pride of Josie Rugby podcast with Clinton Scott.
Evening, everyone. It's Clinton Scott here from Lion's Pride of Josie podcast. It's our 4th episode, and it's also our 4th victory in the URC competition. So things are looking very good at the moment for the Lions. We had 2 very good wins in our opening 2 games against Ulster and Edinburgh, where we were scoring tries from all over the park. Then we left and went on tour, and we faced Dragons in our first game. We had to grind out a victory 23-19. And this last game against Zebre in Palmer, where it was pouring with rain, slippery ball, hectic to handle the ball in those conditions, and obviously the pitch was wet as well. But what the Lions have proved now is that they can win by big margins, and they can also close out games, which is a sign of a team that's really matured in the last few seasons. So I'll talk about some of the stats in this game, Frankie Horn's man of the match, and then we'll move on to our game against Leinster, which is coming up on Saturday. So this game obviously was not suitable for us to play our normal running rugby, hence the close scoreline in the end of 10-9. But what stood out in this game is that all of our players put their bodies on the line when it came to defence. I mean, there were some big tackles that went in there. We scored one brilliant try by Edward van der Merwe, the only try of the game. The rest boiled down to good defence and good discipline, and obviously good captaincy by Francke Horn. I put on the page during the week the guys that put in all these tackles. I mean, Reinhard Notnochel, Marius Lowe, JC Pretorius, Jared Keynes, Frankie Horn. All of them had so many tackles that they put in and put their bodies on the line. And our discipline was also very good. We didn't give away like a normal amount of penalties. There were 10 penalties against us in the game, as was the case for Zebre. But yeah, the Lions really came together. They showed a maturity about themselves. And yeah, it was a 1-point victory, something that reminds us of the World Cup where we had those 1-point wins. Yeah, like I said, obviously we had one good try there by Edward van der Merwe, but the conditions didn't allow us to spread the ball for long periods of time. There were obviously a lot less running meters in this game than compared to the one before because of the rain. And yeah, I felt at times that maybe our kicking was a bit wayward and it seemed a bit aimless at times, but the big thing is that we've learned from this and we won, and that's our 4th one in a row. That puts us into 2nd place, just behind Leinster. Leinster and the Lions are the only 2 teams that are unbeaten in this competition so far. We know there's still 14 games left before the knockout, so it's a long way to go. But I mean, the way the Lions are playing now, it's looking very promising. Frankie Horn obviously got man of the match. But what stands out for me with this player is his captaincy. Besides his work rate, which he produces at a high level week in and week out, he's a very good leader. And obviously Marius Lowe was our captain last season, and he was the natural choice to go into this season to captain the side. But he started off the season with an injury, and that gave Frankie Horn the opportunity to come back in, and he hasn't put a foot wrong. So I believe for continuity, they should just continue with him. That'll also give Marius Lowe a chance to focus on his general play in any case. So yeah, Frankie Horn was doing what he needs to do as a number 8. He was defending, he was linking backs and forwards, he was cleaning up. But for me, the big thing was his captaincy. And we need a strong leader when it comes to these tight games. We need somebody that can like calm it down and let the guys know, just keep a cool head and grind it until the end. So yeah, 2 big wins, 2 narrow victories. It's 4 out of 4. We come up against a powerhouse this week in Dublin. We all know what Leinster are capable of. We all know what Jacques Nienaber is capable of. And there were some reports in the media this week that Leinster and some of the Irish sides might pull out their international players to prepare for the November internationals. But I just don't buy into a fact that we could be facing a B side Leinster. There's never a B Leinster. They've got so much depth in their squad in all positions. We're going to have to prepare as if we're playing their first team and as if it's a final. This game will really gauge and show us how far we've come as a complete squad and our coaches. Jacques Nienaber would have worked out our weaknesses and areas to target in this game, but I believe Cash and his coaches will do the same. They're obviously going to work out areas where they can attack and try and get the better of Leinster in that part of the game. And it's been clear skies this week while they've been preparing, and there's no rain predicted as far as I know. So we could have a dry field on Saturday, and we can see two sides really displaying some good running rugby. Leinster are always going to come at you from the first whistle. They like to put pressure on the opposition so that they can build up scoreboard pressure and make the opposition fight to come back. The Lions are going to have to be switched on from that first whistle. We cannot afford to play catch-up rugby, not against them, not against anybody overseas. So I really believe that if we stick to our basics, we dominate our set pieces, we get our attack lines right, we make our first-time tackles, and obviously our kicks are going to be important for poles and for general kicks in play and touch finders. I see they have called over Kate Voliter to join the squad, which tells me they obviously want to ensure that they've got a reliable kicker at goals and somebody that can obviously be there when we need to play a territorial game, and Kate Voliter is very good at that. So, yeah, it's difficult to predict what's going to happen in this game, but I just think the Lions must stick to what has worked for them and just do the basics right and just believe in themselves, because this squad is really on the verge of great things. I think as well that we will probably see the team named on Friday. So it's going to be all to play for. And if the Lions can beat Leinster, it'll be a massive achievement. To beat them in South Africa is a big achievement. To beat them there will be like phenomenal. But the Lions did say before this tour that they were targeting 10 points. They've already got 8. So that means there's 2 points that they still would want to get in this game against Leinster. Who knows, if they can get more than 2, it'll just be a bonus. So I'm just believing in them, and I think that they're going to have a good game on Saturday. There's a possibility they can cause an upset and come back to South Africa unbeaten. But either way, if they don't beat Leinster and they still manage to get a 1 or 2 points out of this game, this tour will be regarded as a success. And I think we've got a very, very interesting and exciting season to look forward to. Cash did mention in the beginning that he wants to, his goal or his aim is to get into top 4. We're currently top 2, but we just need to keep on doing what we're doing, and the results will come. And it's nice to see young players that are getting a chance now, like Heiko Polman, Adef Skuman, these young guys that are coming in and putting their hands up, partly due to other players that are injured, but whatever the case is, they're putting their hands up and we know what we've got in them. And yeah, I mean, Frankie Horn obviously got man of the match. And if you've noticed in the last 3 weeks, it's been our loose trio that get the man of the match in each game. So these guys are really, really putting in the extra work. Their work rate is next level, but the whole team for that matter. I mean, the way our team defended in this last game, everybody's playing for each other. There's a good vibe in the camp, and Lions Rugby in general is in a good space. And guys, we're going to hear rumors, whether we don't know whether it's true or not, with players that are being targeted by other unions and other teams, like Asanati now. I think they must just switch off. We as supporters need to switch off and not let these things distract us from the job at hand. Everybody needs to be focused. There's a tournament to be played here. There are games that need to be won, and we just trust that we'll be able to keep our players, that we can, build continuity and that we won't lose players going forward. But that's the nature of the game. So what I'm saying is, let's just shut out that noise. Let's not flood the page with this one is being targeted or that one is being signed. Everybody needs to focus on the job at hand. So yeah, it's looking good. It's looking promising. And who knows, we could come back to South Africa with 5 out of 5. Go Lions.
The Lions Pride of Josie Rugby podcast with Clinton Scott.